Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Friday, so it's happy hour. Make sure you grab a drink and join me. My buddy Clint Westwood and Public is here with us, the Public Awakening, to have a great happy hour show. We've got some really cool video for you from my local bank. I checked out an ITM. I think you guys are going to be surprised about that, and we'll see what else trouble we can get into. So be right back after this. Hey guys, happy Friday. Happy hour to you.
Happy hour.
Happy hour. Is this my first happy hour? I feel so special.
I think it is because you don't come to any of the live ones. No, I'm just kidding.
You're getting crushed for not showing up in
New Jersey. When we show up in New Jersey, he shows up. It's just right down the road, you know. But
No.
he did come to
I only had to drive 20 minutes.
Right. But you did treat us like kings and queens, you know, when we're in New Jersey. So thank you.
Yes, we're glad you were there.
I had to choose this past one whether I was going to go to this one or go to next month's, and next month's is in Florida. I've been to Westwood a couple times already, so
yeah, he's like,
one or the other.
Florida, you know, easy choice.
I
Man's
have
got
to
those
give
limitations. You got to pick one, right?
See that?
That's for sure. So I have to give a big shout out. I also just jumped on Mega Chunky Buns, which I think he changed his name on Twitter to Mega Chicken.
Doggone it! I just tagged him in this, so it's going to be. Quit changing your handle.
I don't think he should just handle just his name.
Oh, okay.
But he's been doing these Litecoin spaces, and they're really great conversations about Litecoin. He's got some great people on there. If you guys aren't following him already, go follow him on Twitter.
I'm a smart dude. He's pretty cool. I like him.
Super smart guy. And he's got other people on there in the community that come on and talk about what's going on in Litecoin. That's really great. So
Litecoin 180. I'm going to get a shirt that says Litecoin 180. Because I can wear that forever, and it's never going to go out of style.
I disagree. I think Johnny had a great... No, Johnny had a great, we had a great video yesterday talking about how this deflationary, what did he call it? Deflationary
death
event. No, event could trigger this inflationary economy that we're going into. And that might be what triggers that Litecoin pump. And I think that's why that that price is being held down, because I believe that Litecoin is the coin of the people. So
it's the coin of the realm.
189 right now. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, it hit 180. It hit 180 again. See, it tested that 180 support line earlier today, like it always does. It wants to touch that all the time, just like some of these people, like speaking of the trial going on, like to touch people. But you know, Litecoin likes to touch 180. So it touched 180.
Don't compare it to touching little people.
I know,
That's
Maxwell
creepy.
House coffee, right? You know, the trial going on. Anyway. But deflationary stuff. The only thing deflationary around here is bottles of whiskey and cigars.
Not terrible.
InvestWar had a really cool announcement about his cigars. People that had ordered before a certain time, because you guys ordered in time, then he got his shipment fulfilled, and they're going to get their orders doubled. So check out InvestNoir's what's his cigar brand?
CigarRecon.com.
CigarRecon.
Yeah, cool guy in the crypto space. I mean, awesome dude. I mean, go check him out. He's got great cigars. You can pay with crypto, pay with Litecoin. I mean, hey, happiness.
I love the way that this community is supporting, number one, our own, but just, I mean, anybody who seems to be putting out a good product now is just really getting all the support in the world from the community. That's really
cigars, watches that I don't have yet. I'm waiting for my watch from Carlos. Lisa's going to brag and show me her watch now.
I saw it first.
I know, right?
I
I
actually
touched it though one time.
So I ordered another one, and so I'm sending this one to a friend of mine for Christmas.
Oh, wouldn't be me. I know that.
Nope, it's
Very
not you.
I know. Already got my Christmas gift. Begged for. Got it early.
Oh, you're one of those too? Oh yeah, you're always
horrible.
figuring them out.
I'm
yeah,
horrible.
I
I figure it out. I always
speaking on
know.
video.
Oh, she hates me.
Yes,
like, I can't
Donna
get you
said he
anything.
always figures his out early.
She
and
says,
then
I'm not going to get you
runs
anything.
it.
Because she always says that. I'm not going to get you anything. And then she'll sneak it in right like a Christmas Eve. You know, Santa brings it, I think.
Ever
She
since
hands
I
it
was
off
a
to
small
Santa.
youngin', I figured out how to take a razor blade and slice the Scotch tape on the side of the package and open it up and see what's in there and put it back up. And you had to match the Scotch tape exactly back on the old piece of Scotch tape.
Parents ain't going to
Been
figure
there.
that out. Too many presents. I mean, they would never know.
Wait,
Hey,
which way? Speaking of Christmas,
I still got it though.
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason I wanted public
still
on
got it.
here was, hold on, did those pictures transfer?
Other than somebody to pick on.
Yeah.
Other than
Good
someone to
information.
pick on.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
mind taking a
sent
beating.
me.
Right. Take one for the team. Take a couple
There you
for the
go.
team.
What happens?
Oh, while we're waiting. There you go. Do a word scramble.
There you go.
Word scramble.
Okay, so Public and I did a video last Christmas
No coincidences.
about the White House did a Christmas video about all of the decorations, and El Donaldo Trumpo just reposted on Rumble the same video, but they added a little bit at the beginning, a piece that was not on the beginning.
See, I didn't know that, and this is why it's so great going back and forth.
You
with each
do
other.
know this, you just forget. You have the worst memory.
I was dead and in a coma for 5 weeks because I bunked my noodle so hard.
I got an
Remember?
excuse.
I'm getting tired of
I got
using that
the
excuse.
perfect excuse.
At
A
some
lifetime
point, you
built-in
have to quit
excuse.
using that excuse. I'm
I was
a little
fucked
tired of
in a
that.
coma for 5 weeks.
Okay, you can use it for a little bit
Thank
longer,
you.
but
Thank you, because I intend.
it is a legitimate excuse. But now this added scene, which my papa said, my mom, well, I don't know if it's my mom or my dad, because when they text me, says it's the same person. But I'm
Well,
guessing
it is
it's
hard to know who your mom and your dad is anymore in this current culture.
Right, Chihuahua.
Just saying.
that's not what I meant.
I know.
But it comes from the same account. And they said that this is actually a JFK $50.
Mm-hmm.
This coin.
Yep.
So Public, that's a JFK $50.
I may dispute that. I'm
Well,
not sure
I'm
that
gonna-
that's it, because the JFK dollar has the United States of America
Half,
printed on the back.
half,
Right.
not
Do I have to
dollar.
go out and get one?
There's only one $50, but the JFK $50 has the United States of America written on the back. I'm sure I have some right here.
Well, this
It's
could
really
have
relevant.
that written on it,
but
but
that
it's
is the back,
blurred.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the
it's kind
obverse.
of blurred out.
For everyone out in Rio Linda, remember that? Everyone in
Right.
Rio Linda, that's the obverse, not reverse, not the obverse.
Here we go. Here's the JFK $50 right here.
What we got?
That's the front.
That's a proof.
And as I'm touching all with my fingers, there
ruining
is
it.
words clearly written on the back, and this you cannot see.
I know, but
words.
did they blur that out on purpose on this picture?
Oh well, that could.
Is it the
be.
same, but the words have been blurred?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, wait a
Nice
minute.
and close. There you go.
Let's tie this all together. Maybe that's the new currency that might be issued at some point. Maybe that's
Exactly.
a sneak peek. Just
It
saying.
does clearly. It is different, and it does not have those United States of America on the back. And we all know what
shouldn't
the
say
wording
currency.
of that says.
Money, the new money, not currency.
So
Very
with
interesting either way.
that being said, you remember that maybe around this same time, no, it was before, because it was when I saw that article in something where they were putting these ITMs in.
Don't put that image up yet. Hang on. Don't put that image up yet, because to segue into this, and there's a point to this, Lisa. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
I'm
again.
with you. No.
All right. There's a reason for this. All right. So
Way.
the new money. Okay, if we've got new money, why would it be in coin form? because we've got this coin shortage. That's all we hear about.
I'm with
Signs
you.
on the door. Oh, it's a coin shortage. Oh, can't
I'm
have
with
these
you.
coins. So why? How could it even be feasible that new money would be in coin form?
I know.
How would you even facilitate that? How could you even get coins out of a bank or an ATM for that matter?
I have a video to show you how.
What? Come on now. That's just too coincidental.
But wouldn't they have to get rid of the old ones, get them out of the system first? So the
Not
coin shortage.
necessarily.
No,
I don't think they would necessarily have to take the old coins out, because the old coins are, again, they're not from the Federal Reserve. The old coins are from
Mint.
the United States Treasury, from the mint. Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So
they're actually real
different.
money.
Coins are technically supposed to be real money, and they're not Federal Reserve dollars or notes or whatever you want to call them.
We still don't
Nana
have any
says
sound money in
Papa,
it.
it could be a facsimile. Papa is basically correct.
Okay.
It could be. It could be superimposed. I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
telling. I mean, it's a
different,
video.
though.
It's
in either way, the United
it
States
looks
of America
antique.
is left out on purpose.
It does look like is something either blurred out or missing or something.
Strange.
The other thing that I will tell you is, so
And it's
at
wrapped
the
in gold.
at the bottom of this picture, it says that this ornament, which
And that's when we bring in
block
Bix
on
Weir,
this.
right?
it
Yeah,
says
right.
No.
Christmas ornament 2020 for the White House. Well, I will tell you that when I bought every one of the ornaments for the White House, and that was not the ornament for the White House for 2020 officially. This was when Donald Trump was in office.
Look at that. JFK.
This was the official, but maybe that was for the one that was the corporation. Maybe this was the one for the corporation, and maybe that one is the one for the republic, is what my husband said.
It's possible. You never know. I mean, it's hard to say,
Sounds possible.
how things are, on the internet and this and that. The thing is, though, last year, the official ornament was a picture of JFK contemplating. Is that right, Lisa? That's verifiable.
I hope you guys can see what I'm showing.
Yep.
This.
Yeah, right there.
This
Yeah.
was the official.
Right. Now, what's the significance of
mainstream
JFK?
Yes, it's a picture of JFK, and he's looking down, arms crossed.
Silver frame.
Silver frame. Yeah, it was the silver and blue. And then you can go online and register because they're all numbered, and it says Christmas 2020.
It's like an NFT ornament.
Yeah. And this year again, if you believe the Bidens are decorating, they had family pictures all over the.
And there's a lot of show and decoration going on. All right, a lot of changing of the curtains, wallpaper.
It's very interesting.
Do they have an official ornament this year? Do we know what it is?
I didn't look. I didn't have
I
it
will
in
look it
me.
up for you real quick.
Everybody probably forgot anyway.
Yeah, it's out of the news cycle since yesterday. It's done.
Everybody just forgets. That's
So the old. Oh, I can't.
Top-down leadership. Forget everything.
So this is an old traditional, what everybody sees as an ATM. There's,
Or is it?
this is what you stick your card in. You can get a receipt. You get paper dollars out, right? This is the new ITM. These are very expensive. That's the biggest reason why. But my bank specifically, if the president of my bank is, I'm really proud of her. She's a good friend and former military, and it's a private bank. And she's actually recognized in the banking industry and speaks at a lot of different events as being very proactive in the banking industry. And we have 4 of these, I think they said. And then this guy, so I asked her, I said, can I come down and take a video and have somebody explain this? She's like, oh, sure. So this guy, Ben, comes and she does this video, and I'm going to show it to you guys. And then he surprises me and goes, oh yeah, and let me take you around the corner to our coin
The big Scrooge
roll.
McDuck's coin bin. You
I was
dive
going
in
to say
like a swimmer in a swimming
that
pool.
never worked out well. Anytime anybody ever told me
Just
that.
wait, you guys are going to flip.
right.
But let me show you on this ITM. So you get receipts up here. There is where you can put a card. He explained that you can do you can request different denomination of bills. One of the big differences in this is that here's where you receive your coins.
Hang on a minute. Stop right there. We're on the Rush theme. Daddy O says he misses Rush. And I was making some Rush references earlier, but it's like, hold up. Why? Can someone answer this? Why would we have a coin dispenser on an ATM, ITM at this?
I've never seen a coin dispenser ever before.
I've never seen a coin dispenser. You used to have the ones at the register that circled around and dropped in. But no, because that's when it had value. Now it doesn't matter. But why would you have a coin dispenser on an ATM? Does that make any sense?
And these are why it's called an ITM is that it's a what did she say? Interactive teller machine. So you can speak with like you touch the screen and a human pops up, and then you can put your ID down in the bottom here.
Okay.
And so this is for people that don't have to be bank members. This is for non-customers can use this. And he said this is mostly for like check cashing. A non-customer can come and do their check cashing. Then they can show their ID, interact with the teller, and receive coins or dollars.
Why would you get coins back though? Okay, this is a bigger thing. Because why would you get coins back? Because they would just say, we're going to round up. They're talking about getting rid of the change anyway. They got signs on the doors. Why would they just round it up?
You can't get a lot of coins right here. But then he's like, but would you like to see around the corner? I have to show you guys this video. So hold on. You'll flip because I did. I was like
a coin.
The only part of that ID scanner I don't like if is that meant for the certain stab.
I know.
And then you can't use the machine unless you put your passport in there and gives you access.
Unless you hold your hand up or put your arm by it.
You stick your thumb on there and then a little prick comes out. And it's like, okay, you're good. Number 7. All right, he's got 7 of them.
But if you think about where it is and where people get pricked, it would be a weird. It's not really conducive to that.
All right.
I think one of the original plans was with the
in your hand.
Identification was for your hand was supposed to be in the webbing of your hand. A lot of the tech companies are using them on their campuses so that people don't have to carry any cards or anything anymore. So you just put your hand up and there's an RFID.
Yeah, you know what?
Just like that the dogs get.
Yeah, I think I would say
we're getting them.
We're not doing it. You know what? A lot of people do a lot of stupid things. They listen to a lot of stupid people and they get in line, but you know what? We're not going to do that. But anyway, around the corner.
Yeah. So around the corner, let me show you. Share this video. Hold on. I'll have to get rid of my blue earbud. Make sure that you guys can, make sure that you can, let me know that you can hear this video because sometimes when I switch it messes up the video. Okay.
Interesting, Daddy-O.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the video. No.
Can't hear no.
I don't hear it.
Dang.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mitch. The only kind of chip I'm putting in me is a big old fat potato chip, loaded.
We were able to put these ITMs in 2019, I guess. Or was it?
It's really added more. I think the first one was 2019.
Okay. So are they at all of our locations now?
Not all of our ATMs have these. So we've got 4 of them currently. We're working on getting more.
Okay.
So we've got this one, that one. We've got one 2 blocks north of the drive-through. And then we have one down in OKC. So we actually have a fully automated branch that, it's 24 hours for local businesses. They can sign up for an app called Kisi. And we actually are getting this setup area here. Over here to do the same. There's going to be rolled coin, straps of ones, things like that.
Rolled coins?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And so they can, because a lot of them will, if they're open, say 15, 16 hours a day, well, what happens if it's 8 o'clock and
Yeah.
we're closed already. They can't get coin for the next day, prepped and ready to go. And so
this is for businesses to be able to have physical
access to here, and it's fully self-serve. Most of it's we get the same customers all the time.
Okay.
This one they're still working on getting up and running. The one down in OKC has been up and running for I think close to 2 years now.
So it's self-serve to get your own coins and dollars
enrolled in it. And so
okay.
Coin is just essentially like an ATM. You know, it charges you like you would a vending machine.
Okay.
So there's multiple different machines. I can show you those too if you want.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd love to see it.
They have them back here.
Yeah.
Go through the green screen, the portal.
Okay.
We're teleporting.
Look at this.
Where you want. This is the one that can do the dollar bills. You stick your card in here, just like a normal vending machine.
Okay.
Fancy ones.
And that's like our bank card.
Yes.
Or is
any
that
debit card will work.
Any debit card? Okay.
Yep.
Get
And
rolls.
the other one that a lot of the businesses love, this one can take deposits or withdrawals. So this is called Genibo. So this one you have to be specifically set up on. And again, this one they're still working on getting set up. The one down in OKC works fine. You put straps of bills here. Well, they can't be tied together.
Right.
But you can put those piles here and coin in here. You can run the deposit. It sets up by account individually. This is the one you have to be specifically enrolled in.
Okay.
Any coin will get kicked out here that you want. Any coin doesn't count properly will get kicked out here.
Okay.
And then you'll see the totals and you'll just go, well, I want to, stick in more.
Okay.
And so for a lot of businesses, this is really useful because it's self-serve, especially with, a lot of the businesses, if they're all in the morning and then all in the evening, they need to come over. And so they actually have a lot of those businesses down in OKC where they're like, we have multiple locations. Can you guys help us out in OKC? And so they picked up this. It's called Midtown if you're ever by
23rd.
Pizza and I think it's Capitals is right there and a couple of other restaurants.
Okay.
And so it's right in the corner. Most people won't even know it's Citizens Bank. It says Midtown Citizens Bank.
Okay.
So most people overlook that. A lot of people love that.
That is really cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that was around the corner there. Okay. So back to this. So you'll be able to talk to live tellers. So the live tellers are only specific times, but the ITM.
They're in our business hours.
Okay. But then the other part is available like a ATM 24 hours a day.
Yes. So again, that's for the self-service. And these machines still function as an ATM like normal.
Okay. If
you just stick in your card, it will work just like a normal ATM. The advantage with the ITM feature, which stands for Interactive Teller Machine, is you can do deposits. Well, you can actually still do an ATM debit card deposit with cash and things like that. But if you're wanting to do something that's a little bit more difficult, like if you were a non-customer, you could come in and we can actually scan your ID here and do the withdrawal that way. You can do it through the teller because the ATM, I don't think they allow you to select the bills you want, but in the ITM, you can do that. We can deposit checks and what other features if you're wanting to do.
Even for non-customers, as long as you have the ID.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, again, for the non-customers, it's probably going to be faster over there because it takes a minute.
Yeah.
But it's still very, very useful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's only 4 of these machines set up for that. So most people will just come here. Because the main one, most people, which we're hoping this becomes more and more popular, but most people down in Midtown, those are supposed to be for our customers only. Okay. Because again, it's a locked door and you have to be specifically enrolled in it, or customers who can let you in through the door. And that's one of the advantages for the Midtown location in OKC is you don't have to worry, it's just our customers get in.
Right. Definitely safe. That is amazing. I'm really excited about it. So is this something that you guys are going to be like promoting to or rolling out to the customers, sending them emails, telling them to get enrolled in this? Or I guess they don't.
For the ITM, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
If you, like, say you get a check that you want to cash in or payroll or whatever it is, you can cash that through here. You can deposit it through here. That's one of the advantages with having this little guy right here. You just stick your license in the slot. We can scan it for you.
And you could choose to receive in coin or put it into your.
This one can't dispense coin. It can for like whatever.
Small
like I could do a roll of coin.
Okay.
But like if it's just like you have in 75 cents, well I can select the coin.
So you could put your check into your account and then go around to the other ITM or the other coin dispenser and get it, the rolls
Yeah,
dispensed
they
that
want to
way?
do it that way, yes.
Okay.
But most of our businesses, they're just orders, so they just want to stick in the cash, and then they'll just immediately dispense it out as something else.
Interesting.
Yeah, we get a lot of cash checks. The ITM, most of them are going to be cash checks and cash deposits is what most people will use it for. We get some cash deposits as well, but you can use the debit card for that as well. And because most of the time these get used if the lobby is very busy or if our midtown location, those are typically the 2 times we get used. So these can do just about everything.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's just these 2 machines, just because it's right next there, most people will just walk over.
Use the humans first. Yeah. Well, that's great. I really appreciate your time, Ben. This was very helpful. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So I think the big takeaway on this is that the move forward in technology is to add coins. I mean, this is a huge investment for our bank, and they're putting all this money into adding coins back into the system when
why allow the coins to be taken out? You think about that. Why allow coins to be taken out?
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
they
right
were dirty,
now,
right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't
right.
the
COVID,
didn't the coins? Yeah.
There was touch everything. It carries disease and this and that. If it were silver, it wouldn't be a problem because the antiviral silver.
And that's what Daddy-O said. They would never do this for some crappy zinc.
Exactly. What you can do right now is what I would do, and here's the finger. What you need to do right now is go to your bank, take that dirty fiat, and exchange it for nickels, because a nickel is worth 6.5 of a cent. Yeah, it's over 6 cents for a nickel. You're winning. You can actually win when you go to the existing banks by taking your fiat in and getting rolls of nickels and putting them in your, nickel slot machine at home. Take a bag home with you. Because again, this is just like 1964. When people were hoarding the dimes and the quarters, and they're saying, "Oh my gosh, they're getting rid of the silver, and the metal content. I'm going to hoard all I can of the 1964 and before." And look how well they did. We had that on Happy Hour last time in Peoria. 5 quarters, which was minimum wage at the time, $1.25 is now worth $22 in silver. If you would have just hoarded those quarters then, imagine if you hoard the nickels now because they have nickel and copper in it. Trust me, I know what copper is going for because I'm wiring a house. And copper is ridiculous right now. And if you go out and buy some rolls of nickels, I'd be going to these machines all day long, just boom, 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 getting nickels.
That's crazy.
That's a very good idea.
Because it's real. Because it's real stuff. And that's what it comes down to. You got to have, we're in the crypto space, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the real things. All wealth comes out of the ground. I mean, it really does if you think about it. It's a statement that I made before. And if you can, use the system's rules against them, do it. Because, why are they giving coins out? Why would they do that? They lose money minting coins unless
I was just going to say
they put metallic value in there, unless they put real value that comes out of the earth that takes a lot of mining, a lot of work to get these things and mint them up. Why would you put a coin dispenser in there with this new technology? They want everybody to be digital. So why would we have that? Ask yourself that.
Well, and
there's
Phil
something
C
to
said my small bank put these in too, and this is a private bank.
Small banks.
These are small banks.
Maybe there's another plan outside of the plan.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else going on that
we don't have those in Jersey here. None of the large banks. I have yet to see anything.
Large banks are going to put those in.
I was going to say, check your credit unions and your private banks. My guess is those are the ones that are going to be implementing this.
Yeah, because they're like real and deal with the people in the community level rather than, oh man, how far do I go with this? There's so much content here that you've brought up, and I can't even, spider webbing out. It's like the vampire squid, that is Goldman Sachs. I got all these tentacles going out.
Public started it because we did that video last year where we decoded all the we went through the whole Melania's Christmas decorations, and we
Mhm.
saw like the red panda. We saw, oh my gosh, so many things. There
And
was
that's
a
when they started to show up too.
the thing about Second
the
Amendment.
ITMs. Yep.
Yeah, there was all the yellow ribbons, Second Amendment. There was, oh my gosh, the JFK plane.
Mhm.
I can't
I
even
have
remember all of
2
them.
points I'd like to bring up about
Yes.
that video there. So about 3 or 4 years ago, all the banks around here, I used to have a cash business, so I always used cash 24/7. So I would always never spend my pocket change. At the end of the day, I'd come home, throw my pocket change in the jug. At the end of the year, before Christmas, we'd go down to the bank. And we did this for years and years and years and years. About 4 years ago now, every bank in the area took out their coin machines, and their reason for me was what they had said to me was that it just wasn't profitable for them to do it. There's too many problems. People were saying, "Oh no, I knew there was more money in there than that." Blah blah blah. It was a big hassle for them, so they all disappeared. Which, to bring them back now, that's really, really strange. My only question, though, possible downside to that, though, are they automating yet another sector of labor? Are they automating another sector of the workforce now,
No.
just like Walmart did and got rid of 3/4 of their cashiers and now have giant bays of self-checkout areas? Is this maybe another move that they're going into, which would
Sure.
not be good
And
for
Taco
us?
Bell and all that. Sure.
No,
And
I think
then-
so too, because I look at him and I think you're going to be out of a job, brother. I mean, because that's what's going to happen. And you look at Walmart and what they're doing, and you see that. See, it mimics reality. And coming from the Midwest, and seeing what I've seen, you see the cattle chutes, you see, and you see it in Texas, in Oklahoma. But I mean, you see how you look at reality and how the digital world, you farm cryptocurrencies and you take profits out of it because you farm them. And it's all goes back to those things that really happen. And then you think, okay, are we being herded like cattle? Are we being, pushed down a chute and, everything's going to be automated and you just go through the motions. And the next thing it's just like this because you're at the end of the frickin' chute. And
Logan's Run.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
But that doesn't make sense. That doesn't jive with the whole bringing coins back into.
No,
the
it doesn't.
system.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. That
It's
doesn't
like
jive
this,
with the coin thing.
But we're living in this. We're living in this transition from the old world where we had real things, and now everything is becoming automated and digital. And so it's a blend of all of that. So yeah, it's you try to put these pieces together is really what it is. I mean, they're mimicking the real world in this new digital world, and you're going to lose. I mean, you look at these robots and you look at all these things that all this automation. You saw on Twitter, the face this week. That's kind of the big thing. The robot that was doing things and superimposed with Jen Psaki's face, on one of the tweets. But it's
I missed that.
we are in this transition to where it's like, okay, I'm going to boil it down. I'm going to be very simple. We have to make a choice is really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
And we have that ability to make the choice. We can choose to go down the cattle chute, or we can choose to say, you know what, we're going to have, might be coins of real value, real money, whatever it is. It's just we have to have that discernment in all these things because, it's just another tool. Tools can be used for good and evil. And we have to choose if we're going to be on the light side, if we're going to be on the dark side, and think about the consequences of all of that. But at the end of the day, we have to understand what makes us free and what makes us human and maintain that and not be absorbed into this Borg with all of this new technology that's coming out. And that's one of the big knocks against cryptocurrency is that, oh, it's the mark of the beast. Oh, it's that thing that's going to enslave us. Well, it can be if you let it.
Yeah. No, I had that same conversation with Mega Chunky Buns today on.
I don't think he has mega chunky buns though, but I've only seen him from like the shoulders
I
up.
haven't seen his buns.
I just don't
so
see
I
it.
can't.
I don't extrapolate the top part to the bottom part like that. But it's kind of funny. There's got to be a reason why he's got that name.
I just hope it's not about like his man bun. I hope it's about his buns.
Yeah.
Could
But
be.
anyway,
Speaking of buns, no. I'm just-
Going back to the
Stomping.
to this year's
did you
White
find
House
it?
ornament. This is it right here. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Make everything great again.
So it looks like a very familiar color, blue. And there's
Wait, let me make you bigger. Hold on. Let me swap with you. What does it say? I can't remember.
It just says, what does it say? White House Christmas 2021. But
So
again,
here's
it's a very
the other
familiar
thing
color
on
blue. I'm just saying.
on Jill's lovely decor this year. So when Melania used that White House in the video, she used blue wreaths and she had red bows, like red, white, and blue. When Dr. Jill used it, she had the White House with blue wreaths, but she forgot the red bows. And so that's why it looked so horrible in the little town scene when they did the decor. It was just like a big White House with blue. Do you remember that in the decor? And so
there are so few images and videos of them being in the White House that it's kind of hard to, really come up with any kind of
keep this in mind
analysis.
with the white and the blue.
Yeah. So there you go.
It looks like exactly. It looks like that blue.
And
Yep.
yeah, we're at white and blue wreaths.
And then you look at last
United
year,
Nations, people. That's the
you look
United
at
Nations.
you look at the one you showed earlier, Lisa. I mean, you look at the colors and the warmth and just the lighting. Everything felt cozy. Everything felt natural. Everything felt good. And then you look at this, and it's all artificial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's enjoy the show.
But I think your point about like we will have a choice, and where before Bitcoin we didn't have a choice, and everyone, and that's biblical in itself.
Yes,
is that people think, oh my gosh, this situation, and they feel helpless, but there's a choice. But you have to be willing to be personally responsible, and that's what we've talked about this over and over again, and we talk about this when we go on the road and that's what I was really thankful. Mega Chunky Buns let me talk about our happy hour roadshow. He was really excited. He's like, I didn't know you guys were doing all that. So you're going like every month you go somewhere and you're doing all this and you're doing these meetups and you're really like on the ground doing this adoption stuff. I was like, yeah.
It's so hard to get that word out, though.
It is really hard to get the word out there, but I think that the fact that we're just, out there doing it, and we're going to keep doing it, and we've got really great sponsors.
And we're taking January off. Oh wait.
Well, I didn't commit completely, but I was like, oh yeah, that's great.
I know. I'm like, okay.
And then Westwood was like,
I feel like I'm getting set up here or something.
You didn't ask me. You said yes, but I didn't. I told him I would talk to you about it.
I know.
I committed, so
I know.
We'll see. But
and the thing is, if Litecoin Lisa says, "Hey, you want to come to this event?" and Clint Westwood always says, "Okay, all right."
I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
And it's with a bunch of people that we love, and
it will be huge.
Great.
It'll be huge. It'll be a great event.
And then we could use it as like a planning time.
It needs to, because I'm thinking, what are we going to plan next year? Because
we have to plan next year.
Chatting next year. Everybody in the chat, everybody who's watching, next year we are going to go to probably 11 different places, because January we're taking off, and then we're going to have events February, March, all the way through December. In your location, if you can set something up, reach out to us. If you can be the boots on the ground and set this stuff up so that we can show up and do this, because it's hard to do. Get everything together.
Of recruiting people locally to attend the crypto class. That's what we really need the help with, like finding the location to hold the event, and we need help with
get us a class
recruiting people that want to learn about crypto in that local area. That's what we're asking for. If you want to be a boots on the ground partner, then we want to have you on the happy hour. We want to celebrate what you're doing in the area. If you're a local meetup in the area, we want to get behind what you're doing and highlight your meetup. So bring us. No, we're not traveling overseas just yet, David, because they want us to get the prick to come back to our own.
Don't you realize we're in a pandemic right now?
One of these days,
not this year,
as soon as we have some freedom again, then I would be happy to, as long as my sponsorships can cover my travel, I would be more than happy to.
And me too.
Travel. Yeah, then we'll do all that kind of stuff. That's the hope and the dream.
I would love to go to the UK. I mean, Ireland and the UK. I mean, Change Angels over there. I mean, there's some great
that would
people
be
we know over there.
awesome.
It'd be nice to go to the UK. It really would. Mainland Europe at this point, I don't know. Hard to say.
After we're free from being threatened with our health, our safety.
Well, you can't come back into the country. I mean, I hear today, and it's like, well, you need to have a test, within so many hours, and then if you can't,
it's not just a test though anymore, is it?
Well,
I think there's like more rules than that.
Well, things are raging out of control with this new variant.
Yeah.
And we really have to put in some strict measures, especially at the southern border, to make sure.
I heard you get the sniffles. It's terrible.
That nobody can come in and, until they've.
Verifying.
Yes, they've been verified.
Yes. Oy vey.
That's what Ellis Island was for back in the day, right? We screened everybody, and now we have a southern border that's like a sponge, or a Swiss cheese, I should say. It's got holes in it. Sponge. Should be a sponge where you can suck it all up and then twist it out on the other side. But it's...
Good point.
I'm out.
Things. Yeah, one of those things. Yeah, it's...
Get us in trouble. But hey, give me a screenshot here, Lisa.
Yes, would you like to be big?
Well, yeah, actually, there we go. I don't need any more weight on these bones.
It is like a little word game. It's a little word salad,
It is. I mean, if you take that, it's an anagram. If you take that and unscramble it, that's what you end up with. I mean, this is a movie, people. I mean, this is seriously. You can't make this up. This is such. That's why I don't get upset about it anymore, because you can't get upset by it. And every time there's a mandate, there's an order brought down, it gets struck down in the courts. And I mean, if you really pay attention, you don't need to follow any of this garbage that you watch on mainstream media, because it's just nothing but garbage. And it's a big threat, this and that. Meanwhile, they're all partying, without their masks off, and come on, see through it.
We can see through it. We know that. We're there. We're so
more
close.
and more people are seeing through it, though. I like to think that it's getting a little better here in Jersey. I know New Jersey is the coasts are a little bit of a bellwether, and you could kind of tell the direction of some of the masses, at least, especially over here. And it seems to be a little less urgent. I'll say that around here. You don't see as many Karens running around screaming at you if you don't follow their rules and stuff like that. But you go one step closer to the sea and to the ocean, and you've got New York, and they're just completely out of control still. I was watching videos just earlier today. The police actually going into restaurants while people were eating and checking their papers. Give me the papers.
Papia beta. And Cliff makes a good point, and I knew this subconsciously, but when he said it, I'm like, yeah, I knew that. But when he says the police policy, they just implement policy. The police, it's policy. It's all this, these statutes. It's not real law. They're not here for peace. They're not here to protect the people and their rights.
I thought they were called a peace officer.
Policy.
You mean they did a on the words there?
No,
oh my goodness!
Exactly. Now they flipped it, and it's police. And there are rulings in the court system that says the police don't have to protect you. They, you can dial 911.
Protect and serve on the side. What's going on with this world?
Exactly, it's all propaganda.
I'm so confused now.
It's all 3-letter propaganda, because there's all
the
kinds
sheriff is actually
the Shire Reeve.
The
person
sheriff
who takes care of the Shire.
Actually, yes, they say their oath to the Constitution.
Under
the Constitution,
and that's the only thing they're obligated to is the Constitution and the protection of people's rights. The rights. Enshrined under the Constitution that we, the people, implemented.
So
that's
it. Some of them are in the wrong club. I don't know if you've ever seen any different types of badges and see they got little scales on them and stars on them. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe
and that's it.
Club. I don't know.
In public, you're exactly right. It's right in front of us. It's in our faces, and they want us to volunteer. They want us to be voluntarily into that dark system. And, the officers and all these people, they're unknowingly doing it. But then they say, well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Turn it back on them. Make them recite the law. Make them tell you how you violated the law. I mean, we are the law. We implemented it. We came from tribes that came together and said, you know what? We're going to create a document. we're going to create something that can hopefully have, maintain some peace around here, and have some order around here. And we created a constitution, we the people did. And if people who so-called people who serve the Constitution and serve the people, if they don't do that, you have no obligation to obey any of those indirect orders, because we've got to get to the point, and it comes down to, again, to simplify it and boil it all down. We have to make a choice. We have to understand who we are, why we're here, understand the people who fought for
peaceful
humanity,
disobedience.
Well, and that's it. There's a lot of people who did that, who said, Gandhi, and Thoreau, and a lot of people in history, they said, we're just not going to participate.
Right.
We're not going to give it power.
And now we have another option to just disengage.
Opt out.
And this is what I used to tell my kids all the time.
Opt out.
Say,
Right
he's
there.
picking on me. He's saying this about me. Ignore them.
Right. Who cares? They have no power.
They don't have power.
If you don't
You
let them
ignore
have
them.
power,
Don't give them your energy. Ignore them.
You know what's coming.
And that's what we
don't give the vampires
be doing.
energy.
Yes.
It's so true. They have no power unless they take it from you. And if you don't allow them to have it, they can't have it. And they're nothing but cardboard cutouts on the Western movie set. Speaking of which, Mr. I didn't pull the trigger. I mean, give me a break. But
what did he say? He dropped the hammer and stuff?
Yeah, something about a hammer.
That was weird.
I got a Santa Claus.
Dropping the hammer, like
or
one of those things
Santa.
that they say.
We got Santa Claus over here, dropping the hammer maybe for Christmas. That's what I'm hoping for.
Isn't that a term for starting isn't that like a term for starting legal proceedings and stuff like that? You're going to drop the hammer on something?
I think so.
I don't know. Is that double speak maybe? I don't know. Oh, sorry.
It has so many meanings right now.
You know what makes a good movie? Great actors.
Great actors. Yeah.
Good actors. Great actors.
Okay. So my little pup passed away, and I appreciate all the sweet messages. I really had a hard time, so I had to take a couple days off. Just part of the reason I really wanted public to join us, because I could not hold myself together. I never loved a dog before. So all you dog lovers, I apologize for not recognizing the significance of their relationship, of even my own little doggy do love. But then, so I couldn't sleep because I get in my head, my husband, we call it, I get in my head where I can't share my emotions, and I have to work it out with myself. And some of what I do is I go sit on the couch and I watch documentaries, or part of my therapy is going down the rabbit hole or searching for truth. Oh, Westwood bailed on me.
Westwood's later, I'm out.
Thank you, public, for staying with me. But searching for truth and trying to find truth when things don't feel like they make sense. And so I watched Quincy, and I watched he's back. So I watched Quincy. Which that just kind of made me more upset. Then I watched Gathering. I watched something else. Oh, Tiger King.
You're back, Westwood, if you can't tell.
Yeah. There were multiple things that I watched because I couldn't sleep, and I was kind of struggling with lots of different things. And I went through different things where I was angry and frustrated. And then I was this has been going on for so long. And then I'm this has been going on for so long. And we are seeing movement. At first I was oh, this is just, it is never going to end. There's always going to be darkness when there cannot be light without darkness. And I felt oh, we're never going to see a win. This is never going to get better. There's always going to be the small people being, having issues with traffic and, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I was no, things are changing. But the fact that we are seeing it, and the fact that it is coming into mainstream, and we are seeing, and then I'm all these people resigning. I was but that happened a few years ago. Well, nobody noticed a few years ago. Now
the list is gigantic.
Mainstream is finally noticing the new list of people resigning. And I'm but that all happened a few years ago. Well, nobody noticed that happening a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, now and I feel the ones that we were paying attention a few years ago, it's kind of like now it's all happening for them. And we're like, yeah, we were trying to tell you that, but I don't know.
Now we look less crazy. It's
We
just
look
another
less
form of
crazy, but
adoption.
for
I
us,
think,
we're
right?
like, we're kind of over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we should
It's the
almost,
process. Yeah.
we should
Everyone
be,
seems to be adopting at a different pace in their awakening here. And
yeah.
some are a little earlier, some are a little later. I think honestly, right, as long as we get to the same place in the end and have an understanding and can through that build community, build relationships with our friends and neighbors again and our family, and educate people. For example, when I got into cryptos in the end of 2017, and even for another year or two afterwards, there was like, you heard 3% of the people heard about Bitcoin, 4% of the people heard about Bitcoin. I just heard on mainstream media just the other day, we're up to 25 to 30% thanks to some of these meme coins that are coming out, who actually not only heard about Bitcoin, but heard about other coins and know something about crypto. So
Yeah.
I think in that short amount of time, we really stepped it up. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Uncle Cliff's, one of his latest couple of videos, the tides of Woo, I think it was. And he explained how it comes in a little slowly and you get to that middle point and then it really starts building on top of itself. And, you start to go exponential at that point. But to be at 25 to 30% of the people in this country know what cryptos are at this point, that's a big deal. We've come a long, long way in a very short amount of time. And that can't be forgotten. Now, where does it play in with that rate? How much of these people now are coming in to learn about the laptop and coming in to learn about pizza foods and all these other type of things that are coming? Are we getting up to that point now where, look at even the high school kids with their TikTok and all this kind of other social media that I have no idea how to use still. They've been talking about HRC and demon stuff 2 years ago. My
Right.
daughter was telling me about this. So are we coming to that point now as a group of awakened society and citizens here? Are we coming to that exponential point now?
I mean, I think the youth are. I think the youth, and that's what I even I mentioned Miss Teen Crypto. She's in the chat, and on the Mega Chunky Buns Litecoin space chat, or I don't know how you call that on Twitter, but where she is having these conversations out in New York and different places. And one of the things I thought was really poignant, and Edward Snowden brought up the same thing. And this is part of the Bitcoin white paper, is that it's a trustless payment. And for like my generation, like, yeah, it's trustless payment. Like, we paid with checks and we mostly trust it because we trusted the banks and we trusted the system. And yeah, you're going to pay me next Tuesday for my burger or whatever. You know what I mean? And we had IOUs and paid, and
Popeye.
yeah, we could find people and whatever. Now, when I watched one of her latest interviews there were a bunch of young girls, and they were, in the, maybe it was one of her interviews on Forbes or CNN or something. And she was like interviewing these young ladies. And
she was on the street in New York, like 5
So you
girls.
know what I'm talking about, that one. And the
absolutely.
girls say they say it's about trust or being, and they say the reason that they use Venmo and Cash App and whatever is because they trust Venmo and Cash App. And so she says that's why you use Bitcoin and Litecoin and cryptocurrency, because it's a trustless payment system. And she explains that to them. And I thought, man, that's so different than my generation, but how powerful that is. And that Satoshi already knew that. He knew that we were coming to this system and this time in history where we don't trust each other. And look at where we don't trust our medical system. We don't trust our school system. Look at what is happening at our school board meetings. We don't trust.
Which that was another thing that Uncle Cliff was certainly right about. He said you got to, sue school board, fucker number 1 and school board fucker number 2, and start putting enough lawsuits on them, and stuff's going to change. I just sent you that article earlier about how it's becoming almost an epidemic now of different school associations and school boards being sued across the country en masse, big time.
Well, my experience. I mean, I went to the school board to I asked for help first. I asked for honesty. They sent me to the administration, and then literally the administration guy, I said, why didn't you ask parents? And he said, we don't have to. We're the administration. We make the decisions. And
exactly. Then you look at how many people have been
I took
paid
my
off
kid out
and owned by GS, Mr. Soros, Lord Soros at the local level. And the only way that can happen is because we don't have sound money and they can create it out of nothing.
Well,
and
here's
so they
the
can
other
buy
thing that
off
really
people.
pisses me off is I got the statement of my taxes that I pay for my house, and it showed me that the majority of my taxes that I pay for my house went to the school that I took my child out of because
and they didn't listen to you.
They told me I don't have a say in the choices that they make in schooling the children, whether it's my child or any other. I don't have a say in what goes on in that school. So what I'm sorry, what was it? No taxation without representation?
Right. And that's
I
Wasn't there a
don't
big
have
thing that happened with that a
representation.
long time ago?
Didn't we dump some tea over somewhere? Like, didn't this shit end a long time ago? I'm really confused
but we have to
about
redo it. And it goes back to your point, Lisa. It's like, will this go on forever? And the answer is yes. This struggle will go on.
We always
forever.
need a tool to be able to fight, because the fight will never end. So we can never give up our tools, which is critical thinking, number one, but also the ways to defend ourselves, which is our Second Amendment. We can never give that up. We always have to be able to defend ourselves and our ways to defend what we believe in. It's important.
Look at these people who rule over us if you let them. They're weak. They're pale. They're emaciated. I mean, they are weak individuals. Sick. They are sickly individuals. They're vampires, literally vampires. And we allow
like that
them to have power. Yeah. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, at the local level, real money, real energy, I pay every year in the tax bill to support these schools, and they're not going to give me a voice. What do you do about it? You say, all right. Lisa says, I'm going to pull my energy away from those vampires. It's one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it. Run for the school board. Get like-minded people together.
I do have a friend doing that. Yeah.
And that's what you do. You get like-minded people together, and you just say, you know what? Because, listen.
Westwood for sheriff.
Listen to me. I'm going to tell you a story. Little Westwood history. I don't talk about myself a whole lot. When I went into college, I said, I'm going into political science. And this is back in mid 1990s. Yeah, 1990 something. And, early 1990s actually. And so, I go into college, I'm going to go into political science. Why am I going to do that? Because, I feel that urge that things need to change. I want to be a public servant. I want to help people. And I got to the point where I realized it ain't going to change. I mean, this is a money system. This is a system to where it's corrupted by money. And so you get to the point, and, I've come full circle to where it's, I'm going to do things at the local level and put together a community and build a community of like-minded people from the grassroots rather from the top down. Because from the top down, I mean, they can throw as much money as they want at it. But at the local level, like we talked about, the sheriff, the school board, if you can build a community from the grassroots up, like-minded people who understand, what they're worth, understand that instead of going to work and just throwing money away at something that doesn't respond to you, if you can take control of that system, that's how you win. The Irish came over here, and the Irish were horrible people, the dregs of society. Hated. What did they do? What did they do? Learn from that. They went into the police force. They became the police force because they wanted to make sure that they had control of their lives and they could defend their families. They understood where the power was. And you have to do that. You have to understand, the structure. And I talk about that tree, that big oak tree that you can't chop it down. It's dangerous. It could fall on you. I mean, it's huge. It's overpowering. But you know what? In that system, there's ways to have saplings grow up. There's ways that those saplings can grow up and say, okay, I understand what the system is. It's huge. Do we want to collapse it? I mean, a lot of people get devastated. No, you look at it and you look at ways, okay, this is how we can change it. This is how we can rebirth it. This is how we can grow something new out of that old system. That's what we have to do. We have to look at it and we have to say in all our individual ways, We have to look at where we are, be happy where we are, have like-minded people where we are, and change it from within. Nobody wants a revolution. Nobody wants to have to go through that. Nobody wants that bloodshed. It could change overnight if we just stop giving power to it. That's all it comes down to. And education is the key. Awakening people is the key. And when we look at, okay, well, I'm paying way too much for this school district that doesn't do anything for me. You absolutely are. All of us are. So how do we change that? We start taking control. We start taking power away from it. And it may be becoming sheriff. It may be, getting on the school board. It may be, all comes down to truth.
And there are tools like
people understand that. It resonates with people.
Yeah. I was even thinking about, there's even tools that we've talked about with crypto and options. We had Michael from Quest on that. I'm not sure how this all plays out, but we were talking about, there's different laws and rules about like your equity in your home versus the rights to occupy your home. And so you could tokenize the equity in your home, which is what a lot of people would, or not people, but if something were to put a lien on the equity, if those organizations still were around, they would put liens on the equity in your home. So, there's just a lot of options.
There's a lot of ways to do it. Become a church, start a church. You don't have a lot of people around. And get outside that system, find ways to do that. Don't own anything, put it in a trust. There are ways to get outside of that.
Don't own anything and you'll be happy. But okay, so here's
wait, because you control it like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates do.
But is that a flip on the negative? Is that really a true statement, but they've flipped it? Is that a mirror thing? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, but is that a true statement? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy because you're not a slave to the system anymore. You figured out how to not be a slave to the system.
Right.
Is that a mirror?
Ooh.
Did you just figure out the magic?
It is magic. That's all it is. Look at the dollar bill. It's all magic. It's a magic trick. This whole thing is an illusion. This whole thing is turned upside down. This whole thing, they invert the truth and make it dark. We have all the answers in front of us. We don't have to give it any power. There's nothing they can do. They don't have the manpower to force us to do what we don't want to do. And that's the great illusion. Don't comply. Opt out. Figure out ways within the system as we transition into the new system, but build the new system as we transition. Make it difficult for them. You look at the Revolutionary War, and you had somebody called Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox. Even Disney, made a short, made a series out of it. Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, and that's what you do. You have the greatest army, the greatest military on the face of the earth, the British. They're going to come over here and tell us what to do, right? They tried to do it and they couldn't stop us because we said, you know what? We're not going to play by the rules that you play by. Yeah. We're going to attack and then leave. We're going to make things so difficult for you and pinprick you in so many ways that you just give up. That's where we're at right now. These people cannot control us. We outnumber them by so many. And all we have to do is make the choice.
Illegal.
All we have to do. Right.
Illegal. My new favorite word.
Illegal.
Illegal. It's not illegal. It's illegal.
Right. Flip it. Mm-hmm. And that's really what it comes down to. It's like, don't be a slave. Choose not to be a slave and choose to live the life that you want to live. And find ways to do that. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And as a community, as you come together, you'll find that you can take control in the system. But, the system's just, it's only funded by fake money. It really is. And if you just withdraw your energy from that and you start, creating a new economy, that new shoot that comes up from the existing root system, it'll all change. You know what? If you get crypto rich, show up at the school board and say, hey, you know what? I want to donate some money. You know, and I want it to go to this. And show people that you're willing to make a change. Hey, you know what? I got an idea.
Invest in your community.
Right,
and I think this is,
Bet on Main Street.
Yeah. Bet on
Yeah.
Main Street. I think
Go to that
that
school, and
is-
I'm sorry, I gotta keep going, or I'll forget it
No,
because I'm an
go, go,
old
go, go.
guy. But go to that school district and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a couple acres. And we're going to add that. Go to the local farmer and say, here's what I want to do. I want to buy a couple of acres. And you know what? Let's make this the agricultural center, agricultural investment. We're going to have classes out here. We're going to grow stuff. And I want that to be something, I'm donating the money. I got crypto. I want to buy that. I want it to be this. You control the narrative. Go out there and say, hey, what I want you to do is have a class to where people go out there and learn how to grow food, and then you incorporate that into the school lunch program. And then you see the benefit of that. You see it in cities, where they grow gardens and how that invigorates people. And they see life from the seed to this plant that produces thousands of seeds in that regeneration. And they see that whole cycle of life. If you can teach people that, that's God at work right there. And when you can, have that impact and people will see that in the community, you become a powerful part of that community. Not to run for anything, but you know what? People will respect you, and that will just permeate throughout that entire community. There's things that you can do with that wealth. Use it wisely. We have that tool to make a change on this earth. We were all born for this moment. We're here for a reason. I 100% believe that. If we it's going to go on forever, the good and evil thing. But you know what? We can make a positive change. We can change the future right now by manifesting it. And we have that ability. We have that tool. We have that freedom. 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto wrote that white paper on Halloween, 2008. And then in 2009, January 3rd, that's when it all started. And we have that tool for this new digital generation. Don't get absorbed into the matrix. Don't get absorbed into the metaverse. Don't get absorbed into the cyber world. Do good. Use that tool to do good and rejuvenate humanity. We have that power to do that. We all do. Everybody in this chat has that power. We just have to do it and just believe we can do it. And don't give them power. Don't give them any power. Just go out and do it. And that's my rant.
No,
Amen.
I think that's perfect. And I think that's that
What are you drinking, Westwood?
That documentary
I know a
talking
couple of
about
people asked me that. Here we go. Go ahead.
gathered or gathering.
Larceny.
Drinking.
I love
Larceny.
Bring it on.
Lisa, what are you drinking?
What you drinking, Lisa?
I don't know. What do you drink, Lisa?
Cheetos and Fresca, you guys.
Public,
what are you drinking?
Platinum Kush cake.
You guys in the chat.
Bring some of that to Florida.
No, let's ask the chat. What are you drinking?
What
are you drinking, chat?
Give us.
Now it's a good time since we're
cannabis is okay,
right
folks. Cannabis
we're
is
after
okay.
hours right now. And you're getting a free peep show of after hours.
Well, here's the other thing. So
sign up for Lisa's Patreon, $5 a month.
Please sign up for my Patreon. There is a link in the description below to join my Patreon. That's where, as I find little tidbits of information throughout the day, I share those with my Patreon. There's lots of great information that I do not have time to share on the video all the time, but I will share it with Patreon. So, and you also have a way to direct message me there, and I really enjoy that. Phil C gave me a great article today. I hope you don't mind that I said that you sent that to me, Phil C. But anyway, I shared that on Patreon about the little pokey thing and a study that came out today. So you guys can check that out. Lots of good information. There is more and more information talking about healing people and that our Native American cultures, and that documentary, I think it's called Gathering. I'm pretty sure it's called Gathering, and how important our food system is to us, and that the Native American culture understands that, and they understand how important it is to protect, the bison or the salmon or whatever that cultural food system is, and they've tried to protect that. They also understand genocide in their own culture and how that became less and less important as the West was settled. So there's this whole story and history of America through that documentary that's really powerful to watch. And I think if more Americans understood that Thanksgiving is not that the Indians were so happy to see us that we all had a party together. Like, that's not really what happened. But it would be a great education for a lot of us to watch that. And then there's also a great healing in plants, that what we're talking about with cannabis, what Public is talking about, that has been such a hard fight with big pharma, and how so much healing has been hidden from us. When we look at what, if you watch Uncle Cliff's videos, I mean, vitamin D alone, the healing properties of vitamin D. And why do you think that soy milk was such a big push a few years before all this happened? Vitamin D milk was one of the big things that the military pushed because they wanted strong fighting people for World War II. Mm-hmm. And that was from a study that they did with a Polish.
Bacon and eggs breakfast also, that whole.
Well, that was a whole.
Of eating. That
was
cholesterol. Cholesterol's horrible.
That was a commodity rig for pushing bacon and commodity markets or whatever. So we're not going to even go down that rabbit hole. But the vitamin D thing was actually a study from a medical study that was known to the people, and they took little kids that were in the Polish ghettos, basically, and they gave them and exposed them to a bunch of vitamin D.
That's what it was. Warsaw was a ghetto back then.
Yes. I'm Polish. I can talk about it.
I know you are. You can talk about it. Potatoes made into vodka. You like
saying.
vodka.
Yes.
Good stuff. Sobieski. All right. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Okay, but the reality was this was a study that was done, and it was shown to heal a lot of different things that were, diseases, or avert, not healing. But you guys can look into all that because we'll get in trouble for saying all that stuff. But there were a lot of studies that were done with that. And from the outcome of that, the military was who pushed putting vitamin D in our milk because it was the most thing that most Americans drink. They wanted strong bones and they wanted strong fighters because they knew there was a war coming up. So then what did you see right before the great infection? We all went to soy boys. Everybody stopped drinking cow milk. Everyone's lactose intolerant. No one can drink vitamin D.
I used to work on a dairy farm, where you'd get that milk. I'd milk it. It'd go into the vat, and I'd pour a jug out and take it home, unpasteurized, all the nutrients. And you think about it, ladies, why are babies so strong?
Colostrum.
Thank you. I mean, it all makes sense, but they want to kill all that. They want to pasteurize all that. They want to take. We've been controlled at so many levels, and here, let me.
And that's where our Native American
knew all that.
Will be able to heal us if we can stop this bullshit lies and end big pharma. Yes.
You want to talk about something?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
That right there, if you go back in history and you look at the propaganda arm that put that into the water supplies, it was known to be a deadly thing. It was known to decrease bone structure. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. In Germany, that's where it really began. But in the U.S. even, because, we're nothing but, Project Paperclip. Go look at that.
I talked about this on four mega chunky buns. I'm like,
that's exactly what we are, though. I mean, Werner von Braun, that's where our rocket program came from. We imported all these people in from, because that was the agenda. IG Farben, with all that in the water, and IBM numbering people. All those technologies came along in World War II. And then we said, oh, that's great. Not we, but, those people who were controlling things. And you look at the people, the Treasury, the Secretary, Andrew Mellon, I think it was at the time, he had somebody under him that did the study on that. And let's put it in the water supply. It's good. And there was a fight. There's a fight. But you know what? The money won. The propaganda won. And now every public drinking supply has this in it. This. Every time you go to the dentist, oh, you need to have this. Oh, it's good for your teeth. And
But
it's
the
like,
dentist
okay.
says, be careful not to spit. He tells you not to swallow it. He
Don't
says 5
swallow
times.
it.
as you
Right,
put it
because
in
it's
your mouth.
dangerous.
No,
But
don't
then-
swallow. You gotta spit it
but
out. You gotta spit.
I
So what
drink
do?
water
You
like
go
a
fill up your
freaking
gallon.
camel.
Look, look, look.
Seriously, I drink water like a camel. So okay, I'm drinking how much water? Oh, my teeth. It's helping my teeth,
Then
but
less
it's
with
killing all my other organs. And it's just no. But I've never been on the public water supply because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I guess I've never had this.
Yeah,
stuff.
think of how porous your teeth are. So if you're getting a treatment that's getting into your teeth, and then for the next 6 months,
Just go ahead and
so you
swallow
get your
it.
next
Don't
cleaning.
spit it
you're
out.
just-
Swallow it. It's all good. Yeah, we'll charge you $50 for
Yeah.
that treatment. What flavor do you want? Your vitamins. We got to get your vitamins. At the dentist. What flavor?
Why don't they
do
put
you want?
vitamins in the water then? I mean, that would
Yeah,
make
that's
sense
what they
if
do.
really
Yeah,
want to do
it's
something, right?
It's the
Why
fake
not put
vitamins
vitamin
because it's
D in your
sodium.
milk
It's a
or in your water?
byproduct of the aluminum factories, and Alcoa, the guy that
Boom.
was the Treasury
Boom.
Secretary, was tied to Alcoa back in the 30s, and
Mhm.
they just implemented it. They did a
It's a
study in
different
Michigan.
form of that F word.
It's
that
sodium
you have.
fluoride. It's
Yeah,
not
it's a
calcium
different form.
fluoride.
Yeah, very, very
it's
different.
the
Yep.
byproduct. And
Mhm.
the thing is, we've been manipulated. We've been poisoned. And Lisa, you said, when does it end? It never ends.
It never ends.
because evil will always
Yeah.
try to rise
I
to the
think
top.
that's the thing that we do need to remember. And I know we're like way over, but I love
doesn't
you guys
matter.
so much because it invigorates me. And I think we're all here for this time. And this is the fight of our life. And we're all here.
It's the fight
because
of generations.
We've been here and we'll be here again. And we'll probably just keep doing this.
As much as I don't want to come back and do this stuff
Oh, guess what? You're going to
but
come back.
I'll
We're gonna
come
all
back
come back.
again
We're a
and we'll meet
tribe.
each other
Yeah.
again. And the thing is, though, we are at that point again where enough is enough. And so we decided at the Cosmic School Bus, the bus stop, school bus, Freudian slip. Speaking of Freud, Edward Bernays was the guy that helped bring the fluoride into the water system. He was the nephew of Freud. I mean, propaganda, that's all it is. And see, they had the money to fund it. And the only thing that can stop this is sound money. It's money that we can keep track of and we can hold people accountable. We have not been able to hold 3-letter agencies accountable. They just printed it up. They created it. And then you find out that, a report comes out. Well, the how do you say this?
So that agency in the Tiger King 2, if you can't sleep and you need something to distract your mind because you're tortured because your dog died, you can watch Tiger King 2. And they blatantly say that and there was just a report about this too.
It just came out.
That these agencies are spending millions of dollars paying these informants millions of dollars a year. So there are informants, bad people who are living these high life. They're making millions of dollars a year being an informant, doing illegal shit.
You could be a schmuck on the street and make a really good money.
Really bad person.
Turn in your neighbor.
Yep.
They're not even turning them in. They're lying and doing bad stuff, making millions of dollars a year.
It doesn't matter, Lisa. It's all about the payday because the money's there. So
and where's the FOIA? Where's the FOIA on that shit that needs to be turned over
but
to the
that came out with
citizens?
Pfizer this week, with all the pricks. I mean, that came out, and they're like, oh, we want to slow roll it. We don't want to talk about the studies. We don't want to talk about all the people.
I released one of those on my Patreon.
Right, I know you did. And but it's all out there. And that's why we have to make a choice. That's why we have to realize that all the information's out there and you can be in willful ignorance. And I know, right? You
have
can be
another drink, this one.
I know, right? You can be willfully ignorant, or you can decide that I'm done. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to read you something from Illinois. This just happened.
Read me something.
I'm gonna read you a little something.
That's some good grammar.
I'm gonna learn you a little bit.
You learn
all right. An elderly COVID patient made a full recovery over the Thanksgiving weekend after a court ordered his hospital ordered the hospital to give him the potentially life-saving medication called horse paste.
Mm-hmm.
Horse paste. The court had to order it. So it's a 71-year-old guy. All right. This guy came to the U.S. from Hong Kong to celebrate his granddaughter's first birthday. and contracted a case of COVID-19 so severe that in mid-October, he ended up on a ventilator in the hospital.
Interesting. That was Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, right. Hong Kong Fooey.
I did not know that.
Kung Fluey. So he came over here to celebrate his granddaughter's birthday, and he got COVID. He was on a ventilator for 22 days. This is in Illinois, Naperville, outside of Chicago. The hospital refused the request to give this horse paste to this guy. They refused it. And why did they refuse it, Lisa? Because the guidelines issued by the Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that that thing, horse paste, has not been shown to be safe or effective for treatment or prevention of so-called virus. So the court
For many other things.
yeah, right. The
Wait,
court
didn't they
ordered-
make us take something that's experimental that has no proof and is not proven safe or effective?
Absolutely,
I mean, it's
that's
just
what
all
they're
this
doing.
double speak. We got to pay attention, people.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
1984. George Orwell knew. All these authors knew that this was coming because they were part of the establishment. You know, they're good people. The Kennedys, if you look at them, Joseph Kennedy, oh my gosh, he's a bootlegger. He's this and that. And he has kids, you know, in the presidency. Robert Kennedy Jr. talking about this stuff, you know, the anti-prick. You know, JFK. I mean, it doesn't matter. You might look at those families and say, oh my gosh, you know, they're bad.
There
They did
is
bad
no
things.
one without sin among you.
Exactly, but there are good people within those families. There are
There
good
is-
people that want to do good things. And the judge ordered, you have to give that to him because he's dying. What else you got? What do you have
Yeah.
to lose? What do you have to lose?
To try.
And he recovered. He recovered. 71-year-old guy recovered. No chance that he was going to live. Gave him the horse paste.
Nice.
He lived because the judge had to order it. Thank God for that good judge.
Well, I will
Horse
tell you
paste
the
is used
transverse
around
of
the
that
world for many, many different kind of viruses for decades.
But
Now, the
take
transverse
control
of
your
that-
health, like you said, Lisa. Take control of your life, your money, your health, everything. Quit listening to these idiots because that's all they are. They're a bunch of idiots.
I agree.
And you know what, though? I don't think they're idiots. If I really think about it, I think they're evil. I think they're
On
bad
purpose.
people.
It's on
I think they're
purpose. They know what
vampires.
they're doing.
And it's
Yep.
always been this way. It's been like the pharaohs, you know, going to the top of the pyramid. You know, it's been the priests up there. It's been going on for generations and generations and generations, and we fought them and fought them and fought them. And it gets to a point, it's a crescendo moment, that watershed moment where we say, enough is enough. We're here to stop this. That's why I'm here. That's the only purpose I have in this life, is to make sure that they're done. So the next generation, like the Mistine cryptos, the next generation, like my children, like your children, so that they can say, you know what? We deserve to live in a better place. And I don't care at this point. Sacrifice it all. These people aren't worth your power. Take it away. Build the new world. That's what we're here for. All right, go ahead, Lisa.
I don't know that they're waiting on us, to be real honest. I
They're-
think
they're
we're getting
going.
left behind. I think they're like, F you, we're gone. I think they have already opted out. I think
Good.
they're already on
And I hope they have.
Venmo, Cash App. Their crap is already out of the bank. Their energy is already not in traditional. They aren't in the kind of stuff that we've been told to. Oh, it's so important to have a 401k and stocks and retirement and trust this and that. They don't even think that they're supposed to own a home. They don't even think they're supposed to have a career. They think totally
So
different.
they're like the Native
We were
Americans.
taught-
to where
No,
home's not a big
listen,
deal, and they just live on the earth and just
listen, we were taught, we were raised that it was so important. Our happiness was that you worked really hard in school and that you had the right friends and that you went to and you got good grades so that you go to the right school to meet the right people, to get the right job, to be able to work really hard so that you could retire at some old age. I don't
And then
know,
you can
leave
go
something to
vacation in
somebody or
Florida.
whatever. But like they don't
live in
think like
Florida.
that. We thought that our career was who we were.
identified us.
We worked to live. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying that backwards, right? We lived to work. Am I saying that backwards?
Yeah, no, you got it. And then
I'm
the other
terrible
way,
at that.
You work to live and you live to work.
Yeah, we lived to work, and they work so that
There
they
was
can
something
live.
worth. There was something at
Yeah,
one
they
point that
only
was worth
work
working
so
for.
that they can live. Like they aren't really interested in working. They work a little bit so they can live. That's not who they are. That's not their identity. Where that was so much our identity. Like when you met somebody, I cannot tell you
Work,
growing
work.
up, and even now, people go, "Well, what does your husband do? Who are you?" That's who you are.
What do you do? Yeah, and then
They don't even ask
your
who I. They
responsibility
don't
is to
even
drink
ask
find
what
who
I
you
bourbon,
are.
I
do.
smoke
They go.
cigars,
They
and I
ask.
talk
They
crap.
ask me what my husband does. That's my generation in the South. What does your husband do? I was like,
He loves me.
well, he mostly
Plays
plays with
with his
cars
cars.
and exactly.
Well, we were also taught growing up too, and this goes back generations too. We were always taught that happiness was at some point in the future. Happiness isn't right now. Right now is for hard
Yeah.
work.
No,
Happiness
Yeah.
is some magical point in the future that if we work
Great
hard,
point.
we're going to
that
get
is a
to at
great
some
point.
point. But
It is a great
where-
point.
Then where does it get lost?
Happiness is a destination, and you need to earn it. You need to earn happiness.
Well, you know what? We all earned it in past lives, and we're here, and we're going to create happiness for everybody else.
That's right.
And we're going to create happiness for ourselves. And we're going to be in Florida pre-retirement in December
December 17th
and 18th. And we're going to have
at
a
the
meetup
hangar.
and the hangar over. And we are going to teach people.
I do have to make an announcement that Bix and Amy were a little tanked when they made a commitment to be at the event. And they are not going to be at the event.
No, come on, man.
that
I was
RV.
tanked when I made that commitment to go to Phoenix in May.
I
still
know.
went.
I'm sorry.
You know
They have a family commitment and they are not able to attend, and they're very sorry. And so, but Miriam Haneen is close by, and we're working on her.
Isn't Jenny
Well,
Moonstone
we got to
nearby
get
too?
Snippy there. J Snip 4.
I'm trying to get Jay
Channel
Snip for. He's got his helicopter. I'm not sure if he has
needs to
his
fly in.
license.
That doesn't matter. You don't need a
So,
freaking license. If
I'm
he can
trying
fly it, he can fly it.
You
Get
don't
in
need
there.
no license.
You don't need no stinking
You
license.
don't need no license,
You don't
Lisa.
stinking
He
badges.
doesn't even have his license, Lisa.
Lisa.
I just
Who
watched that movie
cares?
2 days ago.
Don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah,
So
BitChute is great for
hopefully-
old movies. If you want to
I
find
think
old movies with all the swear words in them and everything, go to BitChute. They're all on there. It's great.
On BitChute, you can watch old
Yeah,
movies.
I
Love it.
watched Weird Science on BitChute. All the curse words.
That's
and
where you're
Kelly
spending
LeBrock.
Hey,
Back
listen,
in the 80s.
Hilarious.
I ain't got no twatter to play with.
You know,
they stole my
man's
twatter.
got to know his limitations.
No, it's a twatter.
Okay. Anyway, time
Like
for
going
happy
with
hour to end when they're talking about playing with their twatters. Okay.
So December 17th and 18th in
St.
Petersburg.
Florida at the hangar. That's
Go to clintwestwood.net for all the details.
Up at the
I
top,
have
there's a link.
friends
You
that
click
say-
on it, just scroll down, shows you everything.
I know. Everybody says, well, how do I find the details? My friends say this. Go to
His
clintwestwood.net.
very close friend.
Very close friends, a neighbor of mine. And it doesn't, you know, oh, well, someday.
Don't even mention that.
That's why I
Anyway.
smoke and drink.
No, it'll be great time. We're going to have, actually, there's going to be somebody there handing out like dollar bills to go
Dollar
to.
bills, and we're going to get
coin flip
crypto on the
machine.
spot. Yeah, baby.
Nice.
I'm really excited about that. We also have Change Angel giving away Litecoin to put in your Monarch wallet. We've got Calyx Solutions telling people about how they can buy
Get a crypto
laptops.
laptop. I want to get one of those kiosks. Can we get a kiosk down there to where they can?
Yes, there's one there. There's a coin flip kiosk.
No, the Calyx kiosks. Have you not watched Bitcoin Ben? He's
I
got a-
have, but I
he's
wasn't
got a
aware of.
kiosk to where you can take it on the road with you and sell the laptops, the iPads right there, pre-programmed, ready to
Okay,
go.
well, I'm gonna have to talk to Ben about
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Because we're
And
going to need
get
an
one to
RV. Maybe
bring
I
with
can
me.
borrow one from somebody in St. Louis.
Well, it's coming up, and it's gonna have to happen like next week, I think, where I'm doing
I'll
helping.
pick up the RV and drive it down.
I'm helping with Light the Night
Swing by New Jersey,
Patriot
Yeah.
movement, where we're moving the lantern
Roadshow.
from Arkansas to St. Louis, and it's supposed to
Oh,
happen,
that's right.
and it has to happen next week because
Well,
otherwise
pick up
I'm
the
in Florida.
RV and then come. I'll meet you.
And then
like
I could
halfway.
drive. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
could pick
take
up
the
the
RV.
kiosk and I could bring it with us
Put it in the
to
RV.
that
Tell
event.
me you need the RV because we want the big Bitcoin.
I don't need the RV.
Yeah,
I can
but
just
we
bring.
got people coming. I mean, we can like.
I'm not driving
Can
that.
you imagine what that RV would be? That would be like
Oh, my
MTV
God.
What was it? Roadshow,
No,
MTV,
I'm
whatever
not
that
driving
was.
that.
All
No.
right. Okay.
I'll
we
just
gotta
bring
work
the
this out.
rig.
I'll
I'll
drive it.
bring the diesel. We got new shocks and wheels and a lift on it.
Yeah, you need a ladder to
bring
get
that.
into it now.
You needed
No.
a ladder last time.
I
to get
heat
into
put
it.
power boards on it so I can get into it and out of it without jumping. So
All right. Otherwise, I'm hoisting Litecoin Lisa into the
it's
truck.
It's a big truck, but I can get in and out of it now with a power board. So
Hey, anybody, we need an audio guy, somebody like speaker guy, because that
we
big
do need help.
freaking speaker that I keep lugging around. I'm going to drive that to Florida. We need somebody, reach out to me or Lisa on Twitter or Patreon for Lisa. I mean, we need somebody to kind of get us. We're working through it, trying to get our audio stuff right, as far as the meetups, because we want everybody to hear. The last meetup, I watched it today, in Peoria, and the audio was great on YouTube.
That was the best one, I think.
It really was. We got that fine-tuned. Now we got it for the public. I mean, who shows up, public.
Because it will cut out sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we got to have a good speaker, and we have to have, we got to get that worked out to where, everybody at the show can hear us talking. They can hear me. They can't hear Lisa because I'm loud. But we got to get that all worked out. So anybody who's good in audio stuff, I mean, reach out to us and let's get that worked out so that we can have get that together.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Love to all of you. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Public, thanks for bringing me all the information. Thank you for giving me a break on Wednesday.
No problem.
That was a very hard day. Tuesday, I did not expect that. And that
was a shock. That was
a rough day. So
and as long as Westwood's putting things up, I would, if I were a doctor, I would recommend not taking this one.
But you're not a doctor. You play one on TV.
I play one on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Just like Alec Baldwin plays some sheriff or some guy in a cowboy suit that,
with live ammo and real weapons. What the hell?
He just brings a hammer,
Unaccountable.
Maybe he's bringing the hammer.
Because I'm outside the system and, I can't be touched. And all right, win charges. That's all I got to say.
Maybe it's already happened.
Maybe.
It's all a movie.
Enjoy
all right,
show.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thanks, everybody.
Love you.
Are you buying and selling cryptos on the same laptop that you're using to browse the internet, read your email, and visit social media sites? If so, you're exposing your cryptos to theft. Whenever you're online, you're at risk of getting hacked and having your identity stolen. How would you feel if someone stole all of your cryptos? What would that do to your finances? Guard your cryptos with a safe and secure laptop from Calyx Solutions. Each laptop is set up just for you and your cryptos, and then we walk you through exactly how it works. Don't risk the security of your cryptos. Order a crypto laptop from Calyx Solutions now to secure your crypto future. Learn more at calyxsolutions.io.